What's up YouTube? Capital G here, checking out the brand new WindWitch support that just got revealed, coming out of Blazing Vortex. Shoutouts to Ren from Yu-Gi-Oh! Art V, and shoutouts to all the fans of the WindWitch archetype, because you're getting more support. Just a quick side note, is this a fire set or what? Because Konami put Blazing in the title, and I guess that I just assumed that this was going to be like Cosmo Blazer 2.0. And so far, this is actually a wind attribute set. Like, we have armed dragons, we got wind witches, and no fire monsters in sight. So I don't know, I'm feeling like I got a little bit trolled here, but I guess maybe the fire support could be a little bit down the line. Anyways, we know wind witches came out in Raging Tempest, and they were a pretty small archetype because, if memory serves me, Ren only had one duel in Arc V, or at least that's only one duel I can remember, because she dueled against Yugo, and that was pretty much it. So wind witches only have like 5 cards, so they can definitely use more cards. Honestly, it's kind of like 4 cards. No one ever summons the fusion monster. They only have Wind Witch only have a fusion because of the plot of the anime. I forget exactly if that's Crystal Bell. I get all their names. I just get them mixed up because they all have Bell in them. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out the new cards. The first one is not very good. In fact, it might actually be the worst card up here. So this is Wind Witch Blizzard Bell. It's a tuner because Wind Witches are primarily a synchro archetype, even though again they do have a fusion monster, which is just randomly because of the anime. It's level 5, and it is a card that eats up your normal summon. It says if you control no monsters or all your monsters are Wind Witch monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. Then the second effect is kind of like a little hand trap type deal. Well, it's just a quick effect, not really a hand trap. It says during your opponent's main phase, if you control a Wind Witch monster other than another copy of Blizzard Bell on field, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. So as soon as I read that, I was like, okay, well, that's kind of neat. They're keeping the whole burn aspect of Wind Witches. They're sticking with that identity. The problem is, I don't want to be normal summoning this card pretty much under any circumstances. Like, I get it. But I get it, like it's a card that, you know, can maybe help you go into like some high level synchro plays, but honestly I just think you'd always rather normal summon Glass Bell and be able to search a monster than get this. It's not like this card has great stats or anything, you know. It only has 1,000, or I think it's 1,800 attack, so it's not really a world beater. And honestly, the second effect, it felt kind of random, even though Wind Witch is it's a burn, you know, archetype, but it actually triggers the new synchro monster that we're going to talk about. Honestly, that's really the only good thing I find about this card, is that it has some synergy with the synchro monster. Like, this is probably a card that you don't even need the run, to be honest. Like, I find the synchro synergy to be really good, but maybe just a one-of in the archetype. Now, we do have a really good monster. The second card is excellent. This is Wind Witch Freeze Bell. She's a level 3. She's not a tuner monster. And then her first effect says, if all monsters you control are Wind Witch, minimum 1, you can special summon this card from your hand. Second effect, once per turn, you can increase this card's level by 1. Third effect, a wind synchro monster that was special or that was summoned using this card as material cannot be destroyed by battle. So that was, you know, the protection effect is not surprising, because Snowbell had a protection effect. Like, it was always really cool getting the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon that couldn't be destroyed by card effects. Now you can have some synchros and Wind Witches that can't be destroyed by battle. To me, this card is obviously an excellent extender, but it fixes like one of the problems that the Wind Witch engine sort of had, and one of the reasons Wind Witch could never be like a full-on deck, because it was always awesome when you opened with Ice Bell, right? Because Ice Bell was a card that could instantly get you to like a Crystal Wing, do some burn damage. The Crystal Wing is really hard to kill. However, if you opened with Glass Bell, I mean, you'd get a +1, but you really didn't have any plays to do. Like, you'd just be like, you know, get Glass Bell, search a card, and then pass with Glass Bell on field. That's not impressive. However, now Glass Bell is your normal summon. You can just search out your Freeze Bell, and then you can special Freeze Bell, and boom, you can instantly go into like a level 7 synchro monster. And technically, well, I guess you could even go into a level 8, because you can use her effect. You can make her a level 4, and then boom, you instantly got a level 8 synchro, and we know how strong those Those are the levels that give you like negation and all types of crazy effects like Omega and stuff like that. So to me, this card is just not good in a vacuum. Like, it's an excellent card in a vacuum, but this makes Glass Bell so much better, and that's even more reason why I never really want to normal summon Blizzard Bell. It's like, I'd rather, you're not going to always open Glass Bell, but now Glass Bell is like extremely good. Anyways, we got a Synchro Monster. That was to be expected. It's a level 8. That was also to be expected. This is WindWitch Diamond Bell. She's fairly generic. She does require a Wind tuner monster, or excuse me, a Wind non-tuner monster. So basically, you're going to use it for probably this archetype and maybe I don't know, maybe you're doing some Speedroid stuff with this. It says your first effect is, if this card is synchro summoned, you can target one WindWitch monster in your graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half its attack. Second effect, once per turn, if your opponent takes battle or effect damage, you can target one card on the field, destroy it. This effect can be used up to twice per turn if this card was synchro summoned using only WindWitch monsters as material. So that's why I think that the first WindWitch exists. I think Konami wants you to discard the first WindWitch, basically burn your opponent for 500 and then pop one of their cards, basically kind of giving you a disruption during their turn. The burn damage is nice because their other synchro monster basically has the same exact effect. Winterbell, she does burn damage too when she's synchro summoned. If nothing else, the first effect, the burn effect of this card, triggers the second effect, which is nice. It's really nice to summon a 2800 synchro monster, burn your opponent for a little bit of damage, because you're going to have a WindWitch in the graveyard, obviously, and then get to pop one of your opponent's monsters. And if you do battle damage to them, you get to pop another card as well during the battle phase, and who knows, that can be the green light to, do a lot more damage. So this card feels pretty good. I think that you're probably going to want to get some protection on this, but obviously the WindWitch tuners or the WindWitch monsters, they kind of give you that. Now, we do have a spell card. This is Chime of the WindWitch. It's a hard once per turn, and it says target one WindWitch monster you control, special summon one WindWitch monster with a different name from your deck in defense position. This is yet another godsend for this deck, and this could probably be the reason why Blizzard Bell, the level 5, is like a one of. You run one if you want a special summoner from the deck. That's pretty nice, but the fact that, a card like Glass Bell activates not just when it's normal summon, but when it's special summon, that's going to be important, because now, even if you don't open with Ice or Glass Bell, you can special summon Glass Bell from your deck, and then Glass Bell can search, and then you can get like an extender, and then you should be able to basically always get to like your synchro monsters in your first turn. This is obviously a 3 of in the deck. Like, basically just open with any WindWitch, and you should be able to get Glass Bell if nothing else. Now, the trap card, this trap card is like really good, but it's slow, and I hate to say that because I just feel like we all as YouTubers just say every trap card should be a spell, but like, believe me, this is one that really should have been a quick play spell. This is Ice Wind's Refrain, and it's also a hard once per turn. Not sure why. The first effect says, or you can activate one of these effects. So either you get to target a WindWitch monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position, or when your opponent activates a card or effect in response to the activation of your WindWitch monster's effect, you can negate that opponent's effect. That right there, that second effect, that kind of like called by the grave type deal, that to me needed to be like, that's why this card needed to be a quick play, because I remember playing like WindWitches as an engine, and it really sucked when your Ice Bell got Ash Blossomed. And honestly, there's a lot of cards in this, WindWitch archetype that can like kind of get wrecked by Ash Blossom. Ice Bell, Glass Bell, their new card that summons one from the deck, Chime of the WindWitch, the card that I just talked about. It would be really nice if I could just have a card that can instantly stop that, you know what I mean? But also that could have another utility effect. Like, this is to me a card that if it would have been a quick play would have been nuts. And it's already a hard once per turn, and it summons the monster in defense mode. Like, I don't really understand why they had to make this like a really slow trap card. Feels like if this was a quick play, WindWitch would have been able to set up like maybe turn 1 double Crystal Wing or stuff like that, because a lot of times WindWitch are locked into the wind attribute. Like, maybe they could have dropped their synchro and then also like Crystal Wing. I don't know if they're going to play this card strictly because of it, because it's a trap. Like, I think it's really difficult to, like, when you want to stop effects that stop you, you generally want those effects. Like, you want to stop your opponent in that first turn. Look at a card like Called by the Grave. It's most valuable in the first turn that you're going to be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! This card, I'm not saying it's identical to Called by the Grave, but it does, you know, kind of interact in the same way. And this card could also stop things like Gamma and Nibiru and all types of other stuff. So this could have been a really strong card if they made it a quick play, but just a little too slow in my opinion. I think the rest of the cards are perfectly fine. You know, for you WindWitch players out there, congratulations. You got actually some pretty decent cards. Anyways, whatever you guys think of the support, you leave that in the comment section below. And my new videos, guys, will be starting soon.